Welcome to another episode of StartUP Stories, the startup podcast that aims to motivate and challenge you through inspiring stories from entrepreneurs themselves. We chat with them about their journey, challenges, and experiences. My name is Rachel, and I'm the host of StartUP Stories. I'm sitting here today with Niels Bosmans from Refaqt. He received a PhD in mechanical engineering at KU Leuven, and he is on a mission to make a sustainability impact through manufacturing. He was also founder of Innovate Precision and co-founder of Invenira. He was part of the StartUP at KBC Accelerator. He founded Refaqt in 2022, which is based here in Leuven and creates open source machines for local sustainable manufacturing. Welcome, Niels.
Thank you.
We're going to jump straight into it with a quick fire round of questions just to get to know a little bit more about Refaqt. What are the number of products that you have?
3. We have a machine, we have a software service, and we also provide advice to companies that want to use the machine. So.
Okay, where are they made?
In Belgium.
And who are your competitors?
Most known are Shapeoko and Bantam Tools. They also produce these kind of machines.
Okay, and how do you differ from them?
We create more professional, more powerful machines, and they are more user-friendly.
Okay. How are you making your product?
We have a manufacturer that supplies us part of the machine, so let's say the bulk machine part, and then we add things to it that we manufacture ourselves or buy from suppliers.
Okay. What do you charge for your product?
The machine's price is around 13,000 euros.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the software, which is around 100 euros a month, and services depending on what the customer asks for.
Yeah. What's your marketing spend?
Very low at this point. It's only around 50 euros a month or so.
Okay.
We're not doing big ad campaigns yet, so it's basically just website and stuff like that.
And podcasting.
And podcasting.
How is your startup financed?
Sweat equity for the most, and we have a grant from the Flemish government, from Avila.
Okay. How long have you been working on this?
The idea started like in 2021, but company was launched 2023,
Okay.
so this summer, right?
So still
last summer.
A lot of work that goes on to it previously before.
Yeah, a lot of research, a lot of trying things and not succeeding.
Yeah. How big is your team?
Currently, I'm the only founder and only one working full time on it. I also have 3 interns working for me, and that's it. So.
Okay. What's your monthly burn?
Not considering the fact that I'm not paying myself a salary, it's about 3,000 euros a month.
Okay. And what problem would you say does your product solve?
We want to make manufacturing more sustainable. Right now, manufacturing happens in big factories, mostly overseas, which creates a lot of waste. There's a lot of transportation involved, and it's very difficult to make it sustainable. We want to solve it by making manufacturing more local, and also by making it open to everyone, so open source.
Okay. Going into a little bit more general and deep dive questions about you and the company. I'm curious, you found a few things, as I said in the introduction. Do you have a specific role model that you base your goals on, and why?
Well, there are a few companies that really inspire me, which are having a bit the same philosophy and the same way of working. One of them is FarmBot. They're actually building a small farming machine you can put in your backyard, which automatically does farming of vegetables for you. Mm-hmm. It's also open source, so all the plants are also available, and they also want to create this kind of distributed farming system so that everyone can locally do the farming and you don't need to ship food from all over the world, let's say. Another inspiration is Prusa. They're making 3D printers, producing everything in-house with the printers itself, so they don't rely on overseas manufacturing. And there's also Eve, it's a small company, also a Belgian company, and they produce small robots. Also, their philosophy is to be able to build most of the things in-house using 3D printing, and also to create like a network of factories that will produce their robots. So that's a bit where I draw inspiration from, and it's a model that I'm trying to achieve as well.
Yeah. In what way? What are the things that tangible that you've put into use yourself?
Well, currently we aim to produce all the custom components that we will produce for our machines. We try to also produce them in-house using very affordable small machines. Yeah. So we want to rely as least as possible on external manufacturers, because then we can produce really on demand. We don't have to have large stock or have to produce large quantities, and we have full control over our production.
Yeah, okay. I feel like you have a very crucial, impactful business. Mm-hmm. How do you align that societal impact with a business model?
Yeah, that's the most difficult part, and we're still actually searching for that. The thing is, you need to find a market where let's say the value that you can offer right now in the current system, which is not sustainable, where it adds a value. If you look at manufacturing today, it's so cheap to produce something in China. It's very, very hard to compete with that model. So we need to find something where overseas big manufacturing cannot reach what they cannot do. And the thing that we're trying to look for is, for instance, customizability. If you produce with our machines or you use our machines, you can custom it the way you want. Mm-hmm. Second thing is repairability. It's open source, so you can source components, repair parts wherever you like. We just give the specifications, what it needs to adhere to, and you can just get it from somewhere else, so to say. Mm-hmm. So these are the two advantages that are already there in this system that we can exploit. But for instance, competing on cost would be impossible to do. Yeah. So that's how we try to align the business with being sustainable. So
yeah. Wow, very admirable. And the topic for this episode is also a little bit diving more into international growth and also sustainability. It's where you fit perfectly in. So I'm curious, is there a drive to expand out of Belgium for the company? Where does that come from? And what are the challenges that you're experiencing with that?
Yeah, well, the drive to expand internationally is basically just because the market is so niche. Right. We are focusing on universities, small startups, engineering companies. And basically in Belgium, the number of customers would be way too limited. Mm-hmm. So we're focusing first on Europe. And then that brings me to the first challenges. If you want to expand really internationally, go to the US or other markets, you need to be able to export your physical equipment. It needs to be certified. You need to be able to handle logistics. You need to be able to handle customer support, things like this. And yeah, that's why first of all, because of the market, we try to expand, but because of rules and because of logistics, we cannot expand immediately all over the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very tough challenge.
Yeah.
And how does sustainability play a role in that expansion?
Well, we also are confronted with the same sustainability problems that occur for a linear company, a company that manufactures in a centralized location. So we want to, for instance, we want to make our products repairable. We want our customers to be able to send back components that are defect, such that we can repair them, or that we can reuse them maybe in other machines or other products. Well, there's the logistical problem. If you need to send something back from a Belgian company to us, it's easier, but if you need to send something back from abroad, it's more expensive, it takes more time, the logistical chain gets more complex. So that's a big challenge regarding sustainability. I can't come up with other things right now.
All right. How do you think expanding globally pushes a startup company in a competitive industry, or pushes them maybe in their position competitively, besides reaching a larger audience?
I don't think I understood the question entirely.
No worries. So I can explain it differently. As you said, like being in a niche and then expanding globally, it pushes you because you have a larger audience, but it maybe also pushes you on a different level competitively because you get other knowledge and expertise, or you have networks in certain countries with you knowledgeable also of the legislation there. Are there other competitive edges that you can think of in expanding globally?
Basically the open source community is really international. For instance, on Monday I had a call with a group of people that want to produce open source microscopes that are very high end, so really top notch, but very cheap. And these are people from Australia, US, Europe, and again, it's an international community, but also to have sufficient volume for these things to be sold, you have to think internationally as well. But the drive also comes from the fact that open source is on its own, because of the internet, an international thing. So you immediately get international projects when you're dealing with that.
Okay. I've come to the end of my questions. I don't know if there's anything else that you want to add, or you think that could be interesting for the audience that we add?
I don't know, maybe that developing a hardware product or building a hardware startup is quite hard. Hardware is hard, as I sometimes say. Don't underestimate all the challenges that are still there when you've built a product, or made a prototype. It's only like 20% of the road.
Okay.
So you cannot immediately launch it like you launch a website or a software out in the open. There's still like a lot of things that need to be covered before you can even distribute your product to customers.
Yeah, I can imagine. How many prototypes, how does that process look like? How long does it take, to go from an idea to a product that is ready to go to market?
It really depends on the product.
Okay. What did it look like for you, for Refaqt?
For me, well, we started in summer 2023. We bought the machine and we started developing. So in a month we will have the first prototype ready, and then we will try in half a year to get it to market, which will be very hard.
It's ambitious.
Also because we still don't entirely know what are all the hurdles we have to overcome.
Okay.
We try to make it more lean by making sure that, for instance, we buy the machine and then adapt it. So we didn't start from scratch. So a lot of things are already certified. So if you can start from something that already exists that helps a lot. The things we add to it are not, they don't need certification, so it's something that we can easily like put on the market. And that's basically it. Try to reduce the complexity as much as possible. And what we're actually doing in a sense is start being a distributor, a reseller, with a little bit of added things that we manufacture ourselves, but it's a great way to learn your market, to start being a reseller, because then you can resell someone else's product to learn from the market. But of course the product needs to be good enough. That's why we're also changing it now. So.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Very challenging business.
Thanks.
But thank you so much for coming by today and talking to us.
Welcome.
Thank you to our audience for listening. We hope you found it just as valuable. And if you have any questions or feedback, or if you want to take part in our podcast, please reach out to us through our Value Network channels. Thank you and have a great day.